Hey y'all, thanks for stopping by. So, over the weekend, one of the first YouTubers, the amazing atheist, TJ Kirk, posted a video up about how the wealthy elites are laughing at you. Wealthy elites are laughing at you, and proto debate bro Destiny decided to post on Twitter, screenshot it, and say, "Life seems like an episode of Black Mirror sometimes." And next to the screenshot of that video title was a screenshot from Pessimist Productions, which is TJ Kirk, the amazing atheist little production team, their Patreon page, with 5,100 patrons listed on it. I'm assuming he's trying to say something like that's hypocritical. And some people got a little bit upset about that and tried to make the comparison of, oh, well, he's not a Bezos, he's a content creator. You know, he's not an elite. He's wealthy, but he's not an elite. Things like that. So he's got 5,100 patrons on this. That's a monthly thing if you're not familiar with Patreon, but it's basically a subscription thing. You donate per month. 5,100, and the minimum donation amount is $5. They have a $5 tier and a $10 tier. So, at a minimum, that's about, what? 3,300, or, yeah, 330,000 a year. Of course, on the high end, you're getting closer to, $500,000, but either way. Their team, at least from what I'm assuming, something like that would be split 4 ways, because there's 3 people who are in front of the camera and then their editor. That's still, you're sitting at like 80 grand a year doing something like that. And of course, if it was the higher end, you're sitting at like 115,000 a year for streaming. Now, admittedly, their Patreon page, the Pessimism Productions, they put stuff on Patreon a lot. As far as the Patreons that I've seen, they actually upload a ton of content onto there for Patreon subscribers. So that's good. I've seen a lot of the times with Patreon accounts where it's just a way to give money to somebody, which is fine. Again, I don't want to make it seem like you shouldn't use a service like Patreon. It's your money. If you want to give it to your preferred content creator, do it. Or don't do it, Do whatever you want to do. It's your money. But really think about that, though. Even for lowballing this, 80 grand a year from Patreon subscriptions. That's more than I've ever made at any full-time job I've ever worked at. And it's to post content. And that's not to say that's his only form of income either. YouTube ad revenue, and they post regularly on all their channels. The Amazing Atheist has been posting videos to YouTube since for a decade, if not more. So there's a fair amount of money that's coming into that. Now, do I have an issue with someone making money by putting content on the internet? No, I don't have an issue with that. I think it's ridiculous to be mad at somebody for making money, but I don't think that that's the nature of the complaint. Whether you think you are or not, making 80 grand a year from donations on top of your other income, you're reaching into that elite bracket, regardless of whether you feel that way or not. 1%er income in the United States is only, what, 450 grand a year? That's a ton of money. Again, at every full-time job I've ever worked at, and sure, I'm not a college graduate or anything like that, but I've never made more than 50 grand a year working full-time and 40 hours a week every week. So, and yes, they do post a lot of content. Pessimism Productions, The Amazing Atheist, those guys, they make a lot of content. They make a lot of money doing it. Is there ways they could spend their money better? Probably, but people will always complain about the ways you spend your money. I do think that it's a good thing that, if you, my only complaint, honestly, that I would say with any kind of Patreon, anything, I don't like hiding the amount that it is. I know some people, like, privacy is one thing, sure, fine, I'm not going to be angry at somebody for doing that, but there is a way you can show the exact amount that you're making a month. It'll always list the patrons, but it won't list the amount that's coming in per month. I think that that's just a good idea for everybody who uses a service like that. So you can give your fan base a good idea of just how much you're making off of that and see if it's something that they're willing to donate to. If they already, if I saw something like that, if I saw a team of 3 dudes, well, 4 dudes if you count the editor, and they're pulling in, 30 grand a month just from Patreon, I probably wouldn't donate to that. But, money's tight for me, so who knows what it's like for you. If you want to donate to anybody, that's fine, but at least be honest with yourself about stuff like that, because they make plenty money. They really do. And got almost 1 million subscribers. Every time you post a video, all that ad revenue from YouTube, everything like that, yeah, he's doing fine. He's what you would call an elite, too. It's just, where does your line end when it comes to an elite? Because if you only think it's people like Bezos or Gates or Buffett and those people, it's a lot wider than you might think. But let me know what you think.